Bit of a late night stream. Just gonna get into it. Just wanted to do some analysis today. Figured might as well stream it. Hello, Cross. How's it going? Hello, Bit Colin. Dang, got a bunch of regulars. But yeah, you guys know I just had my tournament in Charlotte with Jesse. Evil Gwen, hello. Hello, Trey. Yeah, there was a ton of DGT boards at the tournament. Sadly, I just did not play well enough to earn the right to be on one of the boards. I did play live one game, which was one of my worst games of the tournament. But yeah, thankfully most of my games were not live. Although I think they're still going to go in the database because they collected all the score sheets. So I think they're still going to submit the games. Oh, new command is up. Let me pin this actually. I assume you guys have heard about our live classes that we are launching in January. All the info is there in the message and at the link if you haven't heard about it. But that's super exciting. We've been wanting to do live classes for a while. I don't think we've talked about it much yet, but yeah, we're super pumped for January. Jesse had a couple of games broadcasted. Yeah, I think Jesse did okay. I think he did pretty reasonably. My tournament overall was pretty disappointing, but I am playing like 3 tournaments in Europe, so I kind of knew going in, hadn't played in a while, and knew going in that it was going to be rough. It was still rough, but okay, at least we kind of knew going in what to expect. And yeah, hopefully we'll be in better shape for Europe. Which class am I teaching? I'm doing one of the game review classes and a calculation class. And possibly an openings class if we get enough signups. I'll be doing a class on like building an opening repertoire. Yeah, it was tough, but I've been thinking about it. I was quite like upset during the tournament, but I think that's natural. And I was thinking that it's probably reasonably healthy to feel your emotions, and then once you've kind of calmed down a bit, you can come back and try to look at the games objectively. So you can try to learn from our mistakes. Let me flip this here. How do I feel about having to plan Thanksgiving? I didn't mind. I mean, of course, I'd rather be at home with family, but yeah, obviously that's it's hard to get many days off for a tournament, so they kind of have to run them over the holiday weekend. So it's not such a big deal for me. But I do like Thanksgiving. I do enjoy a good Thanksgiving meal. So this was my round 1 game, guys. I ended up losing this one. And let's see, I won't recap it too hard. I am just going to be kind of analyzing here and listening to music. Just kind of chilling. Hence the title, Analysis and Chill. But of course, if you guys have questions, you're free to throw them into the chat. It'd be cool, we can talk about games or other stuff as well. Which opposition is tough for Americans or Europeans? Um, I don't know. I think Americans are. I think it's just a mathematically known that Americans are tougher. Not because like we're better. It's just that like in Europe, they mostly use like most of their tournaments are FIDE rated. So if all of your tournaments are FIDE rated, your FIDE rating is going to be accurate. Whereas in the US, not every tournament is FIDE rated, which means a lot of players, especially kids, they get a USCF rating, let's say 22, 2300, and their FIDE rating lags behind quite heavily, 1900 to 2000. In this tournament, actually, I played multiple people that are masters. I think actually everyone I played is a USCF master, but their FIDE ratings were like 2000, 2050, 2030. So mathematically, it's just kind of against you when you're playing people that are very motivated, very dedicated, improving quickly, kids, adult improvers, hard workers. But then their FIDE ratings are just lower than what they should be. So it's really tough to handle. Whereas in Europe, it seems like people are more their rating. Nikki, I just finished a tournament in Charlotte. E6 knight e7. Yeah, actually, I wasn't really sure what to do in the opening because knight f3. Let's see, I decided to play d6. So d3, this was a surprise for me. I mean, when white goes d3, it means they're playing King's Indian attack. Generally, we have a lot of setups. So I went with this just because it's pretty classic. And then I decided to just go knight f6. I just thought like this is the most simplest approach. I am curious. I'm going to open up the reference database here. Yeah, there's different moves black can play. So you guys, yeah, it looks like you guys can see the ChessBase online database. I usually use this one a lot when I'm trying to look at the opening. I'm going to open up my boy Stocky as well. There we go. Okay. So yeah, there's e6 and e5 here as well. Looks like all kinds of moves have been played. Knight f6 I think is okay, perfectly fine. So c3, castles, rook e1. And now white's ready to go d4, so I went e5. Actually, this is too big for me. I'm going to make this smaller. There we go. I guess Basim Amin really likes this line. He plays this a lot, a3 and a4. Okay, a3. Yeah, I mean, this opening really isn't anything special for white. Like, Compi already thinks black is slightly better here after b5. Bishop e6 also possible. Yeah, b5 seems to be the move people like to play. I play queen c7. I didn't really know what I'm doing here, so at this point I just start, completing my development. But this is probably not the best move. b5 is interesting. Apparently bishop e6 is also very playable. So b4 and then b5 here. And this is already like equal plus. Okay, so yeah, don't have to worry too much about repeating this opening. I think if we repeated this line, we'd have no real issues, I think. So b5, so I was looking at this, is also possible. Bishop e3. Main move is h3. I'd put bishop e3 because that's what engine wanted, but main move is h3, a5, and then black is already like tiny bit better. White likes to go a4, b4, and okay, black is slightly better, so you can stop analyzing here. Bishop e3, a5. Bishop e3 is like, I guess, the computer move, but we have a lot of things we can do. All right, let's say a5. Oh, and d4. Yeah, it's not really theory. It's just some kind of random line. Apparently, there was some game here. Where white ended up losing a piece. Two bishops hanging. Yeah, no, actually, I'm perfectly fine with these close positions because I feel like black has equal chances, so there's no real drawback for me. So bishop e3. I mean, this is never going to happen. It's just kind of interesting to analyze. Go rook to b8 maybe. Maybe rook b8 is a better move. And now if d4, we get the rook off the diagonal, so we can just take and take. Yeah, viral. I mean, it's King's Indian attack, you know. It's not supposed to be great when black, you know, has the flexibility to play any kind of setup they want, but it's a slow game. You know, white tries to play rook e1, d4. I definitely wasn't, yeah, super impressed during the game. But yeah, it definitely feels like black can be ambitious. This. I'm going to write that. It's a good note. Black can be ambitious. It's also playable. Well, not just playable. Nice for black. Yeah, exactly. King's Indian attack usually better against like e6 French-like positions. So here, it's yeah, shouldn't be too dangerous. Is there some idea for black to attack on the king side? In this structure, I would say no. I would say white is pretty solid. And because the center isn't exactly closed, it's hard to go after the king side. Instead, actually, I would say the main idea for black is to try and... sorry, I was trying to make an arrow. Is to try to play d5 and fight for the center. It's hard to play d5 though without allowing ed5 and stuff. Like here, d5, I think actually d5 is perfectly playable. Maybe white is a tiny bit better here, but it's if we're playing the white side. So it's like, yeah, even this is possible. So yeah, in general, I would say what black is trying to do is just slowly take space. But there's also this plan of rook b8 and b5 that maybe is even the most ambitious plan, just to start with b5 and rook b8. But yeah, d5 is natural. Like if black can get d5 and it takes, it's like we have reverse King's Indian position where we're playing against King's Indian as white. So, you know, generally that's not a bad outcome. Okay, so queen c7, b4, b6. I don't think I play this part very well, though, because I think white could have gotten an advantage if he was more precise. Actually, he can already start with b5 here, for example. Then let's say I go here, c4. Yeah, it'll be a bit better for white. Knight d2. Yeah, basically we made a lot of we started making just some typical improving moves. I don't think I play this middle game well at all. Could have played d4 here. Just going to mark this one as plus equal. Not really doing a full analysis right now, more just kind of marking some interesting moments. So h6, a bit slow. Actually, it's a perfectly fine move if not for d4. So what might have been another option? Bishop d7 or b7? Let's say put the bishop on d7, d4. This pawn would be very dangerous, apparently. Rook c1, and white is doing really well. Queen d8. Now e5. And oof. Eval is going up and up and up, like +2. So I'm going to say plus minus here. So cd4 is better. Yeah, let me just overwrite this. cd4, cd4, rook c8. Rook c1, queen b8. And this feels very playable for black. If d5, knight e7, then we get our closed position. Then if something like this, then black would switch gears and now start attacking on the king side with like rook f8, knight e8, f5. That would become the plan now that the center is blocked off. Okay, so bishop d7 is very possible. So here, I went knight a5. Could have gone knight d8 as well. This was another consideration. That was the last game that saw this position. Went like this. This one looks like white was a lot better, had a lot of space. But yeah, eventually black took over here, and here black was doing really well. Yeah, it's never obvious where to put the knight, like to move the f pawn, so it's not like I would have necessarily done that one. It's just yeah, like sometimes against the g3 pawn, knight on h5 doesn't it's only just kind of a target because queen eyes it. So like when you play f5 takes gf, the knight on h5 can be hanging. But sometimes a knight goes to h5, so it's not like there's clear rules about this. It's just kind of principles, like they're just kind of typical ideas. So knight d8. I was worried about d4. But maybe it's not so bad. a6. a4. 96. I was worried about like takes, knight c4. Then takes, rook a1, say queen a1, and knight g5 is there. Exclamation. And black is okay. So maybe knight d8. Here. I mean, it was a difficult choice where to put the knight, because on d8, of course, now white doesn't want to go c4, because then the knight would be beautiful on e6. So that's why I was thinking d4, but I didn't really, estimate this knight e6, knight g5 idea too much. Okay, here. This. Now position gets more blocked up. Queen b3, I went back. Yeah, so this is key moment. Where I feel like, definitely got it wrong. Yeah, Nikki, I'm the same actually. I think most people are. To be fair, what I'm doing right now is not very intense sweat work. I'm running the engine. I'm just looking at lines. I'm not really, I'm also not able to do chess at a, I can play blitz, and do like superficial things, but not like serious things. I gotta do that stuff during the day. So it was a big question here whether to play a5 or not. During the game, I thought I could do it later, but okay, white ended up playing a5 on the next move, which I didn't think was a threat, so I allowed it to happen, but maybe it could have played a5 here. And thank you, MG Weirdo. Thank you. Wow, 55 months. Dude, amazing. I thought this position is equal but playable. And it felt like maybe my pieces are a little bit faster on the jump over to the king side. But okay, it would still be a big fight. Not sure where I would start here. Let's say rook f8. Oh, knight d5. If I take... Okay, in this position it says c4 is only move to keep it balanced. This kind of pawn sacrifice. But just wondering why. What if I go knight g5? Why is this so bad? Knight d2. Oh, Compy really likes this for white, huh? Okay, let's say check. H5, knight c4. It's saying it's like +1, which I don't really understand. I don't know. I go back. Oh, f4. Okay, now I understand. Okay, what's this f4? So, it's easy to go wrong here. Let's see, what would be better? h5 maybe? knight d5, queen d8. And it's equal. Can also go knight d4 here. If takes, e takes, black would be better here because of the two B's. Takes, and now guys, very unexpected move here that's best for black. g5. Compy says only move to give black kind of significant advantage, like 0.5, 0.6. Interesting. I guess with idea g4 and bishop f6. So let's say rook e1. g4, let's say knight here. Yeah, bishop f6 is a problem. Then just taking on h4 and queen d8. Would be good for black. So g4, let's say knight d2. And then queen d8, key maneuver. Hola from Rio de Janeiro. What's up, Sam? How's it going? So, dude, you're there on, you're saying family vacation? That means you're in similar time control, huh? Very cool. So, time control, time zone. Time control. Time zone. You must be in a similar time control there in Rio de Janeiro. They got similar time controls in the US. So I played h5, which is not necessarily bad. It's just that a5 now. Yeah, I think white, I mean, I don't think black is better in these lines. So I shouldn't have allowed it. I'm going to give h5 a dubious. It's not the worst mistake, but I shouldn't have allowed it. Yeah, of course. I mean, it was just the one game that was live, so none of my other games were broadcast. So the other move here was knight d4 also could play. So I was thinking knight d4, cd4. Let's say bishop d2. Rook a7. But bishop d2, what's his next move? f4. So rook a7, f4, rook a8. Let's say here. Queen c8. All right, and how does black? Seems like black is kind of breaking through. Okay, knight d7, there would be f. No, could play knight d7 here. Okay, also queen d8 and then knight d7. So about slightly better for black. So knight d4 maybe was the easiest way. And then building up on the a file, which is kind of an annoying plan. Definitely a move I didn't fully estimate. Now here, I don't know if I would go a5. I think maybe there's other moves. World Cup discount, is that still on? I think that might be dead, but yeah, we haven't gotten rid of the command. This is round 1. And I lost this game, which was brutal. But the kid played good. You know, what can you do? All right, and the analysis here after rook a8 equal plus. So here I took, could also do this. I think we would have to get this, yeah? So here, here, here. I would have to go here. Yeah, I could have had this position, and then I would play bishop h6. And in the game, I got this position, but with this pawn and this pawn traded. So with these two pawns gone, it's different because it feels like it's in black's favor to not have this a6 pawn. That's why I kind of went for, I traded, but in reality, white's knight is able to use the c4 square. So strategically, this was actually like really difficult game for me because there's a lot of stuff I just didn't understand, you know. So this, I think, would have been totally fine for black. White can also play here, apparently. Okay, that's an interesting move, trying to take 2 rooks. So let's say we go for it. King h7 is apparently bad. Bishop f8 stronger. Why bishop f8 so good? Let me try to understand. Maybe here there's some knight g5. So it says take, rook a5. Yeah, knight g5 check. h4. It says white is winning. Well. So here black has to find bishop f8, which is not an easy move to self-pin. But here, knight c7. Let's say this. Somehow black is okay here, but still kind of difficult position. Can't say I really understand it. So queen a2 would have been interesting. And then if I don't want to go for this position with 2 rooks, which I'm not sure I really want that, I would have to play here. Then I can take. Takes, say here. But I'm just trying to win the pawn back. I think I can get the pawn back with this and this, but yeah, hard to imagine black can really play for a win. So this would have just been roughly equal, I think. Yeah, it's cool. A lot of GMs are now recapping their games. Like I was watching some videos from Arthur's Nixons. Like he's been doing really good recaps. He was recapping his games from like World Cup and other tournaments, and then This guy Felix, I think he maybe, I don't know if he does recaps, but I feel like he does some good good content as well. But yeah. Wait, Sam, you think this line is not ideal? But I mean, okay, not to be engine junkie, but like black is already like better here. Like what? Or what specifically? US Masters was fun. US Masters was very fun. A lot of good people were there. I was hanging out a lot with the Chess Sharks. So that was fun. Okay, so I took, and b6 played, and I went here, and then we got this position. So this one would have been a funny blunder. Because I consider this move. If it works, it's great. Because then maybe black will end up with an extra pawn, like take. But he has this one, which would have been funny blunder. However, Compi does seem to like this move here, which I did not consider in this exact position. Oh yeah, no, I just misplayed it because I played queen c7 and b6. I kind of allowed white to go b5. So I could have played it better. I think black is the one who should play b5, either right now or on the next move, and then it's then here I think black is doing fine. Yeah. Knight c2, rook a5, c5. No, I didn't. I'm not sure I remember that one. Maybe you can link me, Sam, if you don't mind. I'd love to check it out. Oh, if it's very recent, yeah, I can find it. So apparently the c4 was very strong. So if take. Oh, awesome. I'll check it out. Yeah, he's promoting the Ready course. Hey, if he's playing the Ready, if he's playing his own course recommendation, that's hardcore actually, because that's not easy to do. You know, like you publish a course, so your analysis is all out there. And maybe you have some deeper analysis, right? So it's not like you're publishing everything. But it takes a lot of guts to play something that you just released the work on, because people can at least see all the variations you go into. They can see like, okay, against this line you're playing this, and against this variation you're suggesting this. So maybe they don't know like the depth of your analysis total, but they can at least see like the direction you're taking it. It makes it a lot easier for people to prep for you, because they know, like, you know, with knight f3 there's a lot of different ways you can go, g3, b3, c4, like all these moves. So if someone has an idea of like where exactly, like what move order exactly you like, it's you're kind of putting a target on your back. So I think that's a fair trade. If you and on the other hand, people of course want to see you play the repertoire. So if you're putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak, I feel like you get a little credit. You can promote the course after. Oh, he hasn't published it yet. Okay, so it's not as gutsy. I see. So this one apparently is equal-ish. Black is maybe a tiny bit better. But looks like it. No, it'd be pretty unclear actually. I mean, this position, anything can still happen. So c4, why didn't I? Consider this move so seriously? Because if DC, queen b7, and then we want to take on e4, to take bishop c6, and knight c5, everything kind of coordinates, really nicely. Rook a6, yeah, black just has beautiful compensation. I'm going to write that in. Black has beautiful compensation. Equal plus. So the c4, this is the one I needed. Well, this is okay. Bishop h6. But this was a mistake, bishop h6, because white missed. He had a nice move here, bishop d2. To trade and just get the knight to c4. And then white would have big advantage already, just like that. Just thinking about this, but then queen b4. Keeps white's edge. If this one, then this would be equal. So instead of bishop h6, I guess knight d4. Knight d8, I think not that good. Knight d4. Take. Bishop e6. Kind of simple chess. I mean, it's still equal, but it's still playable. And white has bad bishop on g2. So this one, it's like anything can still happen. f4, rook c8, f5, take, g5. Bishop d2, g4. Computer gives equality, very interesting. Just put equal. So here I take. Bishop c3. Yeah, maybe I should have just taken, because then I'm a little bit faster. I get queen a6. Now there's no bishop c3 because I can take on d3 or no? No, knight takes e5 would be there. Oh, wow. And white is winning. Dang. So here, and then knight d4. Yeah, this game I should have just kept it simple. As usual. As usual, I just didn't keep it simple and ended up getting in massive trouble because of it. So it's my first game I play classical in a couple months, but yeah, some lessons you just have to learn over and over again. Just keep it simple and game continues. So I ended up going here, 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 and then c4. I just like, here, have a pawn. Just yeah, speaking of elephant gambit, I was just like, here, just, I don't want this pawn, you have it. You take the pawn. Thing is, white can also go queen b4 here and have big advantage too. So, yeah, okay, we'll get to this one. What should I have done instead? So knight d4 here is no longer that good. Give this a question mark because of takes. Okay, bishop e6 is there. Let's just say cd4, queen b4. I thought I would have some compensation, but like in general, because the bishop is bad, but it's really just not enough. Let's say here, f4 even, and f5. And the knight's coming to c4. Yeah, white's just big advantage here. So knight d4 would also be bad. There's knight d8, there's knight f8. I remember at this moment I spent a lot of time. I think I spent like 15 minutes before just pitching this pawn because I couldn't figure out what to do. And I didn't really like any of I didn't like any quiet move. But even this would have been better. Sorry, not rook a4, bishop a4. Queen b2. And now c4. Yeah, why didn't I do it like this? Oh, I remember. Yes, I was worried about d4 here, I think. And indeed, d4 is one of white's best moves. So I can take here. But it's super complicated. d5. Yeah, I just couldn't figure it out what's going on during the game. So I decided not to throw in bishop a4. But here after bishop a4, queen b2, if black doesn't play c4, c4 apparently is equal. If black doesn't play this, then white is much better. It's like plus 1.5 with this plan. So I was kind of on the right track in that I realized I couldn't allow the knight to come to c4. Because that's bad. Yeah, basically, if you guys see the computer eval here, it's like c4 is only moved to equalize, everything else plus 1.6. Because white gets knight d2, knight c4. And then knight a5 even. So I guess I was clued in to kind of like the right idea. I knew I needed the c4. Because especially this, like knight c5, bishop c6, I understood like this is great. I'm going to get that e-pawn, but yeah, I didn't want to enter this position, which is like super complicated. But maybe this one kind of simplifies. Take here, rook d8. Apparently equal. Okay, knight d8 was also there as a safer option. But then if knight d2, bishop e6, knight c4. Okay, eventually black is just taking on c4. That seems to be the idea. So knight d7 on pins. I take. And queen c6. Exactly. Against the lower rated players, I want to keep it simple. But also, I mean, it's like, Okay, we played Sicilian, but close Sicilian, you know, so it's more strategic position. Yeah, I only want complicated if I'm better. So this is equal, apparently. Okay, I went with this one. Just gonna write losing my mind. In round 7, Sam, it was actually King's Indian. It was like D4 sideline. This soup is very good. I'm having this Tom Kha Kai soup. This Thai coconut soup. Oh my god, amazing. This one also be good. Yeah, apparently white has a lot of moves here. Oh yeah, no, this position is, yeah, it's bad for black. White is winning. So your evaluation 100% correct. Come play Tata Steel. I want to. But I think it was too much. So I'm playing 3 tournaments and then going home after the Sevilla Open. Yeah, where do you live, Nikki? There are no tournaments there? Yeah, white doesn't even have to defend this pawn because d6 hangs. So could have made like any move here, even this. Okay, knight e1 played. I went here. Queen a5. Now d4 was possible. f4 would have been less good because I get knight a4. This one though, this one would have been fine, but white has bishop d4. Oh, upstate New York. Yeah, it's a far train ride to go both ways. So f4, knight a4. Okay, guys, best move for white. If anyone guesses, you're a sick mind. Best move here for white. No, bishop e5, de. Queen a4, rook takes b6. So take, you take the knight, rook takes b6 at the end. And if rook takes b6, queen takes b6 check, so you're losing the queen. So bishop e5, de, white's down a piece. Queen a4, rook takes b6. Yeah. Bishop d4. Black has to take. Because otherwise white's ready to take on a4 now. So we have to take e5. And okay, I mean, evaluation here, it's like slightly better for white. d5, queen takes here. Everything's forced, more or less. Knight e8. Everything here hangs, like both sides hanging by a thread, like rook b6, queen b6, bishop is defended, check, knight e8 just in time. And apparently white is slightly better after f5. gf, queen d5. Feels like was you remember? No, of course. I mean, f4, knight a4. This one I definitely would find because I remember thinking, you know, this was my idea during the game that I would have knight a4 as a way to discombobulate white because I'm hitting the bishop and I'm hitting b6, right? So bishop can't really move away because then rook b6, white's just immediately losing. So in the game, I'm pretty sure I was thinking white would have to. I didn't see bishop d4, of course. I mean, what, are you guys serious? I'm pretty sure I was thinking this and this one. But then white's doing quite well here. But in fact, rook takes b6. I'm not sure what I thought about this one because this one looks pretty good, actually. Because b1 hangs, and then if rook b6, queen b6. And now, guys, only move for white. This one is a little bit easier. Yeah, you need the tempo. Because our queen is hanging. So bishop d4. ed4. This one makes more sense. This one, of course, it's like... Okay, here you should find bishop d4, you know, before you take on b6 and lose your queen. But this one is possible to see. So queen a4, rook b6, takes, bishop d4. Okay, so then this one would be about equal, apparently. Has to be bishop d4 because white's queen is hanging. So it has to be this one. So f4, knight a4. Black would be fine here. But d4, this one I thought I would be okay, but apparently it's like horrible for for black. It's like +3. I thought it's okay for black. It turns out it's +3. Okay, so d4 I would takes. And then I was thinking here. Oh. What? Okay, guys, look at this line. So I thought I was okay here. But this is a real get. This is a real get line to me. Takes. So here I thought I'm fine, right? Because I'm winning the exchange. And white will win it back, but you know, I'll take on c6 with the light squares. Okay, guys, white to play. Testing our computer vision. White has only one move here to get a decisive advantage. Queen c6 doesn't work. Actually, for a very interesting reason. I remember I think I looked at this either during the game, I think after the game maybe we were analyzing with Gary, because here there's check. Only this works for black, and then check here. So this one we actually found ourselves without the engine. E6. Can you imagine playing, this is double exclam. Can you imagine playing such a move? I wouldn't even, I didn't consider it during the game. I remember I was analyzing this position during the game. I was calculating it and I thought, okay, black looks fine. Because I thought like this queen c6 line isn't working. E6 is insane. Wow. So it takes, white takes here, threatening to queen. And then white push. You can't, I mean, you can go here, actually, rook c8, but then you're just losing too many pieces. And this one should be technical win for white. This one should be winning. 3 pieces for the queen. Coordinated, should be good. Apparently this move is also good. Dang, chess is a hard game. Probably my opponent saw this as well, because here he played queen a5. Because he was probably looking at this, because d4, it's a very tempting move. White wants to play d4 here to open up the bishops and like force black to take on e4, opening up bishop on g2. Like this is what white wants. It's just tactically it thinks it feels like you know, knight d5, this was working for black. So you see guys, chess is such a difficult game. Like a lot of times it's a good lesson. People analyze with the computer and then computer's like, oh, you should have played d4 here +3. And they're like, oh, I'm so dumb, I should have played d4. But in fact, to play d4, if you don't see this line that after takes knight d5, you can take here, and then you have e6. If you don't see e6, actually white's not winning in this line. If not for e6, white would have to move the queen, black would take the rook, and it would be equal. So this is the level of calculation needed to sometimes see that a move is working. Yeah, sounds like I saw e6 though. I saw e6 though after you put this position and said find the move, you know. Yeah, true. So, fun game. No notes. So queen a5 went here. Looks like best move. Also thought about knight a4 in this position. Yeah, exactly, statement. I'm just yanking Sam's chain. Here knight a4 is not good because there's no rook b6 because queen takes doesn't come with check. So white's just a piece up, right? So I'd have to take this one, queen a7, and apparently white is winning here with a number of moves, but this one is very nice, d4. Takes, and then just e5, just opening it up. This b pawn is so strong. So knight a4 be a mistake. So bishop e6, only move. And then white played d4. Now he should have played queen a7. And then I have to go knight d7 here. Let's say d4. Take. We get some line. And white ends up with an extra pawn. We actually had very similar to this endgame in the game, but with rooks on the board. So one here, knight b3, and now we get this line by force. At this point, like, I mean, yeah, black is more than happy to get into endgame a pawn down. So this was all effectively forced here. Takes on e5, knight d7, and yeah, this position I actually thought I would have reasonable chances to hold. Oh my god, I could have turned this off years ago. But of course, white's up a pawn, so he's got some chances. But yeah, I thought it was drawish actually. I played rook a7, best move. The eval is 0.58, 0.6 for white, but it's like it's not really increasing. It's kind of stabilizing. So it's like with best play, it feels like it's probably a draw. But yeah, actually, I really like how I managed to make a draw and not make a draw. I managed to equalize in 5 moves, which is kind of, I thought, kind of cool. Clearly equalized, and then I still lost. I still lost. It is kind of well. Hold on, let me annotate this. Actually, let me just write d4. And then I want to, a lot of times when I have games, I like to extract puzzles. So this definitely is a nice puzzle to extract. So let me pull this one. I copy. Let me put that in my database of puzzles. Right, all things considered. The blitz mine. No, I don't know if this was a blitz thing that I lost the end game. Actually, I ended up in a bit of time trouble. So it was more like I spent too much time, and I was in time trouble. And ended up blowing it. all things considered, black should be happy to reach a somewhat drawish endgame, a pawn down. Did I consider knight c5? Yeah, but I thought white is the one that's gonna prefer the rook trade by a lot. Yeah, and indeed, if with this move, it's like it's already close to winning for white, plus 1.3. The reason for that, as far as I understand, is that black can use the rook to create counterplay. So without having this rook that can bother white, it gives white a much freer hand, right? So once the rooks come off, now white doesn't have to worry about the king or anything. He can just start pushing his pawns, use his two bishops to dominate. So this would be very, very unpleasant for black. So I think I really need the rook here on the defensive side. Also, just in terms of like thinking about which endgames we want in the end. If we trade the minor pieces and we get rook and 4 against rook and 3, well, that's definitely a draw, right? So I'm going to be happy to enter that one. So yeah, you'll see, guys, I actually managed to equalize in like a couple of moves. So knight f3, f6, rook d1, rook a4. Also g5 was possible, actually. And then rook a4. Which is apparently already equal. Like, it's not so easy for white to hold on to this pawn. Knight d2 might even be a blunder. Yeah, because take. If rook takes, there's tricks like this, right? So this shows why we want to keep the rooks on the board. So we have this kind of idea. And if bishop d2, rook d4. And now white has to be careful not to lose here. But it's apparently fine after e5 and f4. Okay, it's apparently equal. So even g5 actually would have been good enough. But I played this one, rook a4. Now he went h3. And I could go here again. But I thought this. G4. Here, knight e5. Apparently this is equal. Go figure. So yeah, it really shows that this endgame is drawish, because like we made a couple natural moves and already it's like 0. So the engine is like saying black is totally fine. What I did actually, I thought was kind of clever. I took on e4, which looks like it walks into a bunch of stuff. But if knight g5, there's rook d4. And I'm just in time. Like I'm hitting the rook, takes, and the bishop on e6 is defended. Takes, bishop d5, knight f8, and king moves, and black is okay. The knights can hold. But he also has knight h4, which I had to see. That there's rook d4 here as well. And now it takes. His knight takes g6, but king f7. Knight has to go back, and we get knight e2 check, and knight takes f4. And white is still a pawn up, but now the pawns are doubled, and so presumably this feels like black should be holding this one. So in just a couple moves, we were able to reach this. If bishop e3, then yeah, g5 is okay for black. And white's still a pawn up, but it's doubled, and yeah, very hard to make use of it for white. So black is holding there. Yeah, and then the question is like, how easy is this endgame actually to hold? Because as I discovered, not very easy. Which maybe is surprising. No, so I went here. King h6. But now the king is tied down to the pawn, so this actually was kind of unpleasant. Although, with the double pawns, yeah, definitely should have been a draw. Probably I just played it badly. Now, apparently f5, I thought about f5 here as well. Put the knight on f6. But yeah, I couldn't really bring myself to it because, let's say here, and here, I'd have to play knight e4. I guess knight d5 is also there, but knight e4, for example. So this is the kind of endgame like I wouldn't really be sure is a draw, but apparently is a draw. So it's, yeah, kind of hard to play these positions because you have to make all these like little judgments, like can you hold this endgame? And no, I don't think any of these positions are in Dvoretsky's endgame manual because they're very specific, you know. Maybe there was some game that looks like this, but, you know, hard to imagine it would be this exact endgame. But of course, okay, yeah. Even if I saw it, I wouldn't have remembered it. Okay, so I'll just kind of show you guys what happened. I ended up losing instructive way. Maybe knight c5 here is better. So here. Now apparently this move was good for white. And now this move was good. So yeah, white even had chances here. So there's a couple of chances he even missed. Knight e7. And then here apparently bishop c6. Actually, bishop c6 is interesting he didn't find because this forces off the bishops actually. This one was pretty findable. And then it's a knight endgame with an extra pawn, and white has a better king. So this one looks very scary because then white can like shove us in and just kind of come around. Yeah. Was the bishop best placed on f7? I don't remember why I didn't like this exactly, but I'm not sure. I didn't think I can free the king long term because white always has like knight g2, knight f4. I didn't have a lot of time though to analyze the position like during the game. Apparently bishop c6 and white is winning. But okay, it's like at this point it's kind of computery. What's clear is that it's actually like not that easy to hold. But maybe f5, maybe this was easier like this. Maybe this would have been like here black has more space. And okay, it's a bit ugly, but maybe it's like kind of simpler. But okay, very hard to play f5 in such a position. You know, without a lot of time. I don't know, maybe knight f8, maybe this is the move where I start to experience difficulties because white gets f5. Maybe I should have played this one. f5, bishop drops back, because here it's like the knight is a lot stronger than what happened in the game. And then I have like knight d3. Yeah, I think this was the simplest way, I think, that I missed. At least here it feels like black's life is a lot easier. Because knight d3 is very annoying, like hit everything. Yeah. So knight f8 I'll give question mark. Then here I had to play knight d6, which is very difficult to play because it allows white to get bishop versus knight. And this kind of endgame I ended up losing. So this is not an easy endgame to go into. So here, knight e5. Again, knight should have gone to d6 probably. Here. Now knight g4 apparently. f3 and then back was the way. I went here. Okay, and here it's like engine is saying white already has decisive advantage, but I really blew it with this move because it allows white to get bishop b5, takes and takes. And now black can hold this position, but there's only like one way, and I wasn't able to find it, and so it's like, yeah, it was kind of a blunder to enter this endgame. Yeah, it's hard to even understand why it how black is holding this. So okay, apparently white also could play knight d5 here, and then this, and is doing good. So yeah, it's not like I just blunder once in this endgame. Actually, white had multiple chances. So it's, yeah, it seems like it was just a very difficult endgame down a pawn. So this is what ended up happening. I gave check. Knight c8 is the only way to defend, apparently, to put the knight on d6, and somehow white isn't able to win. I don't know. Requires further analysis. I gave this check because I thought I should go for counterplay, but the issue is my knight ends up dominated. You guys see that? So like, I gave check here. He goes here. Now if knight g1, then bishop b5, and my knight is just trapped, and bishop f1 is coming. So I have to go back, but now bishop c6, and my knight is stuck. So I had to go this way, but now king d4. It's like my knight barely gets back, but white's king is just so strong, and my king unfortunately tied to this h-pawn. And so here, and last move, white really needs to find f4. And now it's over. Because the knight is just stuck. It's just caught on my side of the board, and yeah, I can't stop the knight from being dominated. And so this is it. Or I think it was like this. Not sure if these are the last actual moves, but yeah, basically it was like this. So that was the game. I mean, officially the final mistake was knight d5 check, but at this point it was already very difficult. Yeah, knight g4 was the last chance to kind of save it. Okay, so lots to annotate here. Let me save this one. But yeah, a lot of analysis there. Wow. Spent like well over an hour on this game already just for today. Yeah, unfortunate loss. I mean, knight f8 probably, like, yeah, that's where I think things got very difficult. But of course, the whole game, I mean, I made some bad decisions. I could have played safer and simpler a few different times. So that's on me. That's on me. But the whole tournament, I was like in bad form, like missing stuff, miscalculating, not really playing well. Openings went okay, and I think some things I did okay. Like I managed to win some games, but yeah, for the most part, it was tough to play well. Okay, maybe I'll play just like a little bit of 3-0 to end the night. Then we'll call it a day. No, Sam, no. I mean, I'm streaming tonight. I'll probably stream 1 or 2 more days, and then I'm going to Spain just a couple days on Monday for Citrus Open. So I think a lot of the analysis is going to happen off stream most likely. Probably I should be focusing more on the openings, but openings weren't such a huge problem this tournament. So it's more like I got to learn how to play chess. You know, I don't know if anyone knows how to play chess, but I got to learn how to play like better chess one of these days.